So please turn to page 4 in your notebook in part 1 and write coordinate grid at the top of the page. Thank you. So a coordinate grid is just two number lines that have been put together. So here I have two number lines, and I'm going to take this top number line and I'm going to rotate it so that it is now a vertical number line. So I have a vertical number line and a horizontal number line, and I need to line them up. So the coordinate grid is lined up so that the two zeros meet here at the center. And what this does is it divides the plane, which is what you call a flat surface, into 1, 2, 3, 4 sections. So I'd like you please to, on your graph paper that you have, draw a horizontal line and then a vertical line. And then we're going to put some tick marks on this line. So remember that this center place right here, that's our two zeros. So I would like you please to start your numbering both horizontally and vertically right there at that intersection. So I'm going to count each line, not each space, each line. So remember, this is 0 right here where I've got my cursor. And then right here I've got 1. So I'm just going to make a little tick mark here at 1. And then I'm going to go out and I'm going to make one at 2. And then one at 3. Oops, that one didn't go there. Put that one right here. Okay. And so forth. And I'm just going to draw these tick marks on my paper like this. So there's 3, 4. I shouldn't have those arrows like that. 5. And then I'm going to go to the other side. So -1, -2, -3, -4, -5. And then I'm going to do the same thing vertically. So +1, +2, +3, +4, +5, and -1, -2, -3, -4, -5. Notice that my lines are on the lines. So now I've got my coordinate grid. And the interesting thing about a coordinate grid is that I've got these 4 sections, and now I can tell people exactly where a point is on my graph, and they will know how to get there just by doing it. So the coordinate grid divided the plane into these 4 sections. So I need you to write down, please, the word quadrant. Q-U-A-D-R-A-N-T. A quadrant is one of the 4 sections of a coordinate grid. And if you look at the word quadrant, it has the root of quad, which we know is 4, like a quadrilateral. So the quadrants are numbered, and they're numbered. An easy way that I like to remember the quadrants is that I think of this as a coordinate grid. So I start and I draw a big old letter C in my head, like this. And if I follow the letter C, this is quadrant 1. And then go here, this is quadrant 2. And this is quadrant 3. And then over here, this is quadrant 4. So the quadrants are numbered, not using Hindu-Arabic numerals that we usually use, but they're numbered using Roman numerals. So remember, we're going to number the quadrants starting here at quadrant 1, drawing that big old letter C because it's a coordinate grid. So 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so we've got my points, and remember that this is the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 positive, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 negative, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 positive, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 negative. So if I plot a point, let's say I put a point right here. Go right here. Okay, so there's my point. And you want to be able to put your point in the exact same place. So what you're going to do is this point that I have drawn is at 2, 3. And you would get to 2, 3 because you're going to go 2 to the right, and then from that point, 3 up. Now notice I only drew that one point. I didn't go over 2, make a point, and then go up 3. I just went 2 to the right and 3 up. So that point is red, 2, 3. And the first axis I was on, or number line, is called the x-axis. So write the letter X right there. And then this is the y-axis. So if you look at it, we're going to add some more notes. The x-axis, and remember from science, an axis is just an imaginary line, is the horizontal number line. And the way I remember it is if I cross something out, I draw an X through it, so it goes across. And then the y-axis is your vertical number line. And that goes up and down. And I remember that because this Y has this part that hangs down. All right, so we've got our 4 sections. The quadrants are the 4 sections, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so let's look here what we've got. So here I've got my coordinate grid and I've got my 4 quadrants to see if you can remember which one's which. Then we've got these other words here. We've got this word origin. So origin, like original or where something originates, origin means the beginning. And so the origin is right here. And the beginning of every graph is 0 going across, and then remember we crisscrossed it with 0 going up and down. So I've got a pair of numbers here, and that pair of numbers indicates the origin. It's where I start. So that's called, it tells me what order I go in, so that's called an ordered pair. So write that down, please. Always 2 numbers. Okay, so the first number in an ordered pair tells you to go left or right. So the first number is X, and the second number is Y, because this is our x-axis, and this is our y-axis. So if I was looking at my ordered pairs, and I went to the right in a positive direction, and up in a positive direction, this quadrant, all the numbers in it are both going to be positive. If I went to the right, that would be positive, but then I went down, that would be negative. So all the numbers in this quadrant are going to have a positive first number, positive x, and a negative y. If I went this way, I'd be going in a negative direction, but then a positive direction. So that's this. And then finally, negative, negative. So write these ordered pairs in the quadrants on your grid, please. All right, so ordered pairs are written with x, y, and so here's a little math man. So if we look at this little math man and we want to tell somebody where it is, we would say that you would go 7 to the left, or negative 7, and then 7 up, or positive 7. So the ordered pair for this point would be -7, comma, +7. And you draw that in parentheses. So that would be the address of that point. -7, 7 to the right, +7, 7 up. Okay, this point, starting once again at my origin, would be +6, +2. 6 to the right and 2 up. So you would write that 6, comma, 2, and then put it in parentheses. And that's in quadrant 1, because remember, if I've got that C that I've drawn, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. And remember, you write these quadrants in Roman numerals. All right, and then let's look at this point. Oops, where's the point? It's hiding. Okay, so this point would be at -5, -5. And that's in quadrant 3. 1, 2, 3. And then this point, this point's on a number line. So to get to that point, I'm not going left or right. So my ordered pair starts with 0 because I'm not moving to the left or to the right. But then I'm going straight up. So the ordered pair for this is 6, 8. Or 0, 8 rather. Now, if I was playing a game and this were a spinner and I landed on this, I would have to spin again because it's not in a section. So this point, because it has 0 as one of my coordinates, is not in a quadrant. So not in a quadrant. Looks like rot. Not in a quadrant. Right? And I think that's it. So let's review. You have learned about ordered pairs. You have learned about quadrants. You have learned about X and Y. You have learned about positive and negative, which direction you need to go. And you have learned about sometimes things aren't always in quadrants. So tomorrow we're going to review this. Make sure you've got these notes in your notebook, and I appreciate your listening. Good night.